Well, hello, DCO Nation, and welcome to the first live Q&A. Looks like we have a couple of people on. I appreciate you guys stopping by here tonight and talking a little bit of winter fishing. First of all, I want to apologize. I'm probably going to be doing a little bit of coughing and clearing my throat quite a bit over the Christmas holiday season. I got the flu, and this cough has been hanging on for the last couple of weeks. So, Everett, how you doing? I appreciate you coming in here tonight. And yeah, I've been fighting the flu here, and like I said, this cough has been nasty. I know it's been going around, and during Christmas, it's been the whole family was in some kind of stage of this flu, either just getting over it, or like myself during Christmas, I had it. And then some people were just getting it as I was getting over it. So it was it was quite the time during Christmas. But well, why don't we go ahead and jump right into it? And Russell, Anthony, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate you guys dropping by. And this is just kind of my first time doing this, so we're going to kind of see how it goes. I was kind of kicking around maybe doing this once a month, kind of in the middle of the month. So like January, it's the 18th, talk about like the beginning of January and kind of seeing what the end of January is going to be like as far as fishing goes, especially here and around the Carolinas. Carter, hey buddy, how you doing? My son's on. He is in Fort Bragg. He's in the Army. So nice of you to jump on. Jay with Jelly Baits is on. David, glad to see you. From Virginia, nice. It's got to be pretty cold up there. I know it's cold down here. But yeah, so let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. So if you guys have any questions about anything, winter fishing related, kayaks, YouTube channel, anything like that, go ahead and throw it out, because I know there's usually a lot of questions that guys have, especially like on the YouTube side. A lot of guys don't really understand, kind of what is put into, putting out a video and kind of what goes into it. But let's go ahead and let's start off with some winter fishing. I actually got a question from Bruce Allen, and I'm going to go ahead and read this question that I got the other day. And Bruce is actually in St. Thomas right now, and he had to throw that in and kind of rub our face in it a little bit. But he said, so this is my first year fishing Merle's Inlet, wondering about fishing in January. Also, want to thank you for giving me the inspiration to go fishing in the inlet. I just love it. Thanks, Bruce. Also, I'm in St. Thomas. So yeah, he had to throw that in. So Bruce, you are going to be leading us off. So fishing in January, it is definitely a challenge. The weather right now is just, it's brutal. I have not been out on the water. Matter of fact, I haven't been out on the water since, oh gosh, a week or two before Christmas. And all through January, between it being cold, the wind, rain, it's just been tough to get out there. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but I tell you what, if I never had a job, I probably would have been out there the last couple of days, because even though the days started out cold, it warmed up pretty nice in the afternoon, and it would have been probably some pretty decent fishing in the afternoon. But here's usually what I look for as far as January fishing goes. The water temperatures are pretty cold, so we're probably talking, it's got to be in the 40s. Like I said, I haven't been out, so I'm not exactly sure what the water temperature is right now, but with water temperatures being in the 40s, I usually go to deeper holes. So deeper holes is kind of relative. If I can find a place that I'm kind of cruising along and it's pretty consistent, let's say 5 or 6 feet, and then I come up to a hole that's 8 feet, that's going to be a deeper hole. And obviously, the deeper in the water column, the warmer the water is going to be towards the bottom. So the upper part of that water column is going to be colder. These fish, they want to find the warmest water they can, so they will go to the deepest part of the water column. You're going to want to get down on the bottom. That is going to be your most important thing. If you get anything out of tonight, it is being on the bottom and working these baits slow. These fish are cold. They don't want to chase down a meal right now. So low and slow. That is the key to winter fishing, especially in January. Low, slow, and small bait profiles. You guys who have been out on the water in January, I know a couple of you guys have been out during the week when the weather is nice. You guys are not seeing big mullet or any type of big bait fish. So I actually pulled a couple of quick examples of some of the things that I like to throw. And you'll see that a lot of this stuff is no bigger than 3 inches. So a couple of things that I really like. I'm going to start out with the Jelly Baits Magnifishrimp. So this is a little 3-inch profile, a nice shrimp profile. And the brown shrimp right now had a hatch back in December. And these shrimp are not going to grow very quickly during the wintertime. The food source is kind of scarce. They hide up into the grass, into the high tides. And then as the tides drop out, the shrimp come to the bottom of the creek. So this matches very, very well right now. Also, the Z-Man Slim Swim, which is, again, just another little 3-inch profile, works very well. Between these two, these are my go-tos. So a little small paddle tail and a little shrimp profile. This is going to match pretty much everything that's in these creeks right now. I pair them on 1/8 of an ounce jig heads or 3/16, just enough for me to get down at the bottom. Now, if I find any holes that are 15, 16, 18 feet, I will go to 1/4 and 3/8 to make sure that I'm down at the bottom. Now, if there's a current ripping through, you may even need some more weight to get down at the bottom. Okay, so it's just going to be kind of trial and error getting those baits down to the bottom. Okay, so on the bottom, holes, excuse me, low and slow. The next thing I'm going to look for is areas that are going to be warmed up by the sun first. So if the sun rises in the east, these west side banks are going to warm up first. So when I get on Google Maps and I go to an area, these are the areas I want to look at first. So the west side and protected areas. Mud bottoms are going to warm up first. And so as the sun comes up in the morning, mud and the dark bottoms are going to warm up this water quicker. Okay. So I know I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, and I hope you guys are following me. If not, shoot something into the comments. But again, high tides, I'm going to be up in the flats. Okay. The sun's going to be up, warming up the mud bottoms. I'm going to be up in the flats. And then on the lower tides, and if it's dropping out, I'm going to be looking for the deeper holes. Okay, because they're going to come off of these flats and they're going to go down into these creeks, into the deeper holes. That's how I look for these fish. So protected areas, west side first in the morning. And then as the day goes on, then you can kind of move around and look for other structure areas. Okay. Hopefully that was clear as mud for you guys, but I think that'll kind of get things going for us. Hopefully that spurs maybe a couple of questions that you guys may have. Brian, Indiana, nice. You guys probably have some snow on the ground, I would think. It's been pretty cold up that way. I'm originally from Illinois, so I know about the cold and ice and negative 25 degrees. So uh, Carter's jumping off. He's got to go to work, it looks like. So thanks, Carter. Appreciate it, buddy. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them in there. I was really only planning on running maybe about 20 to 30 minutes. So, again, if you guys have any questions, throw them out there. The weather, I know this weekend, I was planning on trying to get out, but looking at the weather right now, it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting out onto the water. I know tomorrow, again, I think it's going to be cold. The wind is really supposed to pick up again. I think they're calling for like upper 20-mile-an-hour winds. So just absolutely brutal. Saturday, I don't even know if it's supposed to give into the 40s. I'm seeing like a high of 36 down here, which, it's cold. And then Sunday is about the same way. Next week looks like the temperatures are start breaking for us a little bit. But again, once the temperatures start breaking, the wind's going to pick up a little bit. So get out when you can, and and enjoy the inlet. The fish are still biting. I follow Merle's Inlet Fishing Charter and Captain Jason Burton, and I know those guys are still catching fish right now. I saw some pictures of some really nice black drum being caught. So, the fish are still there. The fish are still biting. They still need to feed. Redfish are still hitting. Haven't heard anything about trout. I know that down in Charleston, they have been hitting on some slim swims and some small bait profiles down around Charleston. David Manning has a question. What is your typical reel size, and what's your favorite knot to attach leaders to braid? So typical reel size, I'm glad you kind of asked that. So I actually brought in, if I don't pull a Bill Dance back here and get this thing, break the tip off. So this is a Daiwa Legalis, and this is a 2500. So a 2500 to a 3000 size for inshore is going to be plenty. A lot of guys, they will throw a 4, 5, 6,000 size reel. In my opinion, it's too big. These 2500s, that is plenty big enough and has enough drag to handle any type size fish. I have caught, upper slot redfish and have gotten them in with absolutely no problem. So a 2500 to a 3000 is just fine. The knot that I use to attach my leader to braid is a modified Albright knot. I should probably put out a video on that, but it's a real simple knot. It is a small knot. Matter of fact, you probably won't even really be able to see it, but there's my knot right there. It's actually coming in. I need to trim that piece a little bit, but that's it right there. It goes through the guides really well. I'm sure there's YouTube videos on how to tie that modified Albright. Check that out. Everett, I fish Litchfield in Midway Inlet, shallow, clear water, now till at least Easter. Okay, yeah. During the winter time, the waters really start to clear up. A lot of the algae and the bacteria that we get in the summertime, it takes heat, and that's where you get a little bit, excuse me, a little bit of that cloudiness of the water. But during the winter time, it really does clear up. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Russell, can you talk about, as the year progresses, what will start biting, like winter into spring and so on? Okay, so winter into spring is when the fish really start to get turned back on again. When these water temperatures start to warm back up, especially when you start getting into the mid 50s, That'll probably be here in probably the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks when we start hitting the beginning of February. That's usually when we start getting back into the 50s again. The trout will really start to come back on again. So you should start seeing the trout bite pick back up and the redfish bite pick back up. And it's only going to get better. So as it ramps up into 60-degree water and 70-degree water into the spring, once we hit April, it is going to be on. So, yeah, check your water temperatures. That's how I judge everything. My rule of thumb is if the water temperatures are below 40, 48, 47 degrees, I'm fishing those deeper holes. Really, anything above that, I'm looking at flats, creeks, and other areas, grass lines. So hopefully I answered that for you. Anthony, family and I will be down the week of June 9th. I'm 6'5". My daughter's 10-foot kayak is not stable for me. How do I go about picking out one for me? Okay, so, I actually get this quite a bit. So bigger guys, not even just taller guys, but, guys who are 6'5", 6'6". I've actually talked to a guy who was 6'7", played some college basketball, and the longer kayaks are going to be more stable. So if you get or look at a 12, 13, 14-foot kayak, then the width of these 14-foot kayaks are going to be 35 and 36 inches wide, and they're going to be more stable. If that is not an option for you, the best thing that I can recommend is getting outriggers. I can't remember. I think it's Boondocks. Somebody's going to have to double check me on that. But if you just Google kayak outriggers, those things are fantastic. I see them all over the place, and you won't have any problem mounting them. Usually on the back of the kayaks, there's already some set screws there, and you can put in some outriggers for you. So check that out. Hope that helps you out. Coastal Carolina living. Hey, Steve, what's going on? How you doing? We need a story time on these bass mount catches. Oh, back behind me. Yeah. So, okay. Those are not mine. All right. I keep forgetting they're back there. Actually, they're my father-in-law's. He used to live on Kentucky Lake and caught those two monster bass when he lived up on Kentucky Lake. So yeah, no, those are not mine. They moved and they didn't make the move, and they're like, "Do you want them?" I was like, "Yeah, I can tell some fish lies. Absolutely. I'll throw them up in the office and I'll lie all day about those." But no, those are my father-in-law's. He caught those, and I want to say those are both right at 7 pounds. I think I'll need to double check with him, but I'm pretty sure that that's what both of those are. So he caught them on 2 separate occasions. See, Brian, do you do any crabbing in the inlet? Okay, so I haven't crabbed now for a couple of years. I used to do it at Paulie's quite a bit. I would go onto the little overpasses there onto the bridge and just pull off to the side of the road and have just a little net that I got from Walmart. And I would take some chicken thighs and chicken backs and just, tie them right in the middle of that net and drop them down and chuck them right out. They were great. Now, I think that the size limit on those is 5 inches from point to point. I'm not sure if the regulation has changed or not. Again, if you're going to do any crabbing, make sure you check the regulations. But I think they have to be either 5 or 6 inches point to point. If anybody knows, throw it into the comments so that I can, let let Brian know. But the crabbing was great. I would catch 6 or 8 of those things, bring them home, boil them up, scrape them out, and I would make a crab dip. I loved it. I just haven't done it in a couple of years, but yeah, the crabbing has been good. Yeah, absolutely. So Any other quick questions? No? Cool. Cool. Okay. Well, that's kind of what I am looking to do with this little live stream. Go, 20, 25 minutes, ask a couple of questions, just kind of talk about, maybe that month's worth of fishing. Unfortunately, I haven't been out. It's been killing me. My kayak is up on the sawhorses right now. Just been kind of detailing it, working some things out, and but look for a new video probably in the next 2 or 3 days. I am finally going to do a review of the Impulse 120. I picked it up back in May, and I didn't want to do a review of that thing within the first week or two. I wanted the honeymoon phase to kind of wear off. I wanted to have it on the water. I wanted to get some good fishing time so that I can give you guys really an unbiased opinion of this. I know a lot of you guys know that I was a Hoodoo Pro staffer. I decided not to renew my pro staff status with Hoodoo, so I am no longer on their pro staff. So that's also, I knew that I wasn't going to renew with them, and I wanted to do this review so that it could be unbiased. So I'm starting to shoot that video. Hopefully, I have that up and done here in the next 2 or 3 days. You guys have been asking for it, especially back in June and July when you first started seeing me on the water with this thing. Well, now I'm going to give you the good, bad, and the ugly with this kayak, the pros and the cons, everything that I like about it and don't like, and things that I think that they need to improve on. There's some, engineering things that I think they need to tweak on it. But all in all, you guys will need to just check out the video and see what I really think about it. But um, Fishzilla Fishing TV. How do you get Mother Nature to calm down so we can go out fishing? Hey, if I knew how to do that, I wouldn't be sitting here fishing. That's that's for sure. But yeah, it's this is wintertime. I remember last year too. It was, just a task to try to get out in between the wind and the bad weather and the rain, and that's just being in the Carolinas right now. I know, especially, I can't remember who was in Indiana, but you guys are snowed in. I'm sure you guys are probably getting cabin fever right now. But yeah, at least we can get out and jump in on the good days every once in a while. David Manning, do you ever fish for sheep's head? I haven't. Last year, I went to Charleston to Breach Inlet, if you guys know where that is. Excuse me. I put in on Sullivan's Island at Station 26, and I went out towards Breach Inlet. And I had these little Savage Gear fiddler crabs. It was an artificial fiddler crab. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pitch it around these docks and see if I can pick up anything. I ended up picking up a flounder with it, but no sheep's head. I need to get some fiddler crabs and do some sheep's head fishing. I need to get up with Steve with Coastal Carolina Living. He does some sheep's head fishing. If you guys don't know about his channel, go check out Coastal Carolina Living and check out those sheep's head videos. He gets on some big ones. I need to get some pointers from Steve. So Steve, let's make a time to get out there and pull some out. Yeah, Jay just commented. Stephen and Kay are masters with the sheep's head. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So, oh, and yeah, Anthony. Yeah, we have 3 to 5 inches of snow coming tonight and tomorrow here in Ohio. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, man, I'm glad you guys are getting it, and I'm glad we're not. So, it's going to be cold enough down here with it being 35 degrees. So. But okay, guys. Well, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and end it. And I'm going to go ahead and make a date let's pull up a calendar and I'm gonna set a date for February the 15th for a next live. And we'll see what the next couple of weeks brings us. And on February 15th, we'll have another live Q&A. And as long as you guys keep showing up, I'll be here. And guys, I really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.